record show that this meeting has been duly posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. No public comments.
All right. Guys, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. What you don't know, maybe if this is your first board meeting, that all board meetings are super exciting, lots of fun. It's not go better. But recognition board meetings are really the pinnacle of the year. When we take an opportunity to stop long enough and recognize amazing students and amazing teachers, these are always the best board meetings, and I'm glad that you are all here. A little bit about procedures. So students and teachers, when your principal calls your name out to recognize you, if you'll come up here, stand next to me. We're going to have a certificate for you, and so after your principal recognizes you, you'll stay next to me and he's going to take a picture. Now mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, whoever else wants a picture, please come up and get a picture. You're more than welcome to come up here, and we will hold them still until you get all the pictures you want. So students that are being recognized, be prepared. You're going to stand here for a little while, and teachers, the same for you as well. Also, after the principal gives their recognition and says all wonderful things about you, that's when we'll give you an opportunity to say your speech. So, some of the teachers like me. So, anyway, with that being said, we're going to get started. Welcome. Ms. Shannon Keller, our elementary principal, to recognize our elementary students and teachers.
Mr. Martindale, board members, I am happy to stand before you and present our two students that are recognized for the superintendent honor roll, Glenn and Jody. See. I want to recognize our two students that have been named to the superintendent's honor roll, and our teacher that our staff has chosen to honor this evening. Our first student is Carter Arrington. Carter Arrington, and this is what this teacher had to say about Carter. Carter Arrington is the type of student that cares deeply and works hard in everything he does. He is deserving of making the superintendent's honor roll for several reasons. First, Carter is a positive role model for his peers. His work habits and behavior show that he is dedicated to his education even at this young age. During classroom discussions, Carter is eager to participate and ask questions to gain a better understanding. I can always count on him to complete his work even when there are distractions going on around him. Focusing on his task, however, does not stop his willingness to help others. This is the second reason that Carter has earned a spot on the superintendent's honor roll. Carter is a kind and helpful friend to all. He is quick to encourage and build others up. Carter has the natural ability to notice when a friend is needing a helping hand and offers help with a smile on his face. That smile leads me to the third reason that Carter has been selected for his honor. Carter's positive and sunny spirit makes others want to be around him. He brightens our classroom and the moods around him. His ability to put a smile on the faces of others helps make our classroom and our campus a better place. We are so blessed to have him as a member of our classroom family. Congratulations, Carter. We love you so much. Okay, hang on, I'm going to do this so I just don't fall.
Alright, good job.
Is a fine young man. We are so thrilled to have him here. My next student is a new student to Gunter ISD and Gunter Elementary. Marley, would you like to come up and stand by me? Marley Rowlett joined us this year, and this is what her teachers have to say about her. Marley, you will probably never fully understand the special place that you hold in our hearts. Not even a month into being at Gunter, you impressed us. We saw how incredibly smart and capable you are, and we showed you we believed in you. You slowly came out of your shell and showed us you were the type of person who was going to give us your all every day. Not many third graders have the ability to recognize what they need to be successful and go to their teachers to advocate for what they need. The will you have to succeed in your own learning is so inspiring. Even when tasks get difficult, you keep trying and always aim for better. You are wise beyond your years, and we know you're going to do great things in your future. You stand up for not only yourself, but also for others. You are kind-hearted and know how to make others feel welcome and cared for. Your parents should be proud to have such a humble daughter who gives 100% no matter how hard things may be. Keep up the good work. We love you, Mrs. Harper and Mrs. Keel. And then Mrs. Parker also has Marley in her class, and she wrote a note to you as well. It said, from the time I met Marley, I knew she was something special. She is truly beautiful inside and out, and I'm so blessed to get the opportunity to teach Marley in one of my small groups and be a part of her life every day. Marley has the most determined spirit and eagerness to learn and grow as a third grader. You give her a challenge, and she not only takes it, but rises above it. She has found a love for reading and writing herself to know she can do both. Marley, you are such a blessing to everyone at Gunter Elementary. You truly are. And we are so happy you are ours. Keep working hard, and thank you for being you sweet girl. Love, Mrs. Parker. All right, Mrs. Kill, would you join me, please? This is what your teammates who nominated you have to say, and your students also commented as well. If you know Mrs. Kill, then you know she puts kids above all else. She's a wife, a mother, a daughter, sister, amazing friend, and the kind of teacher everyone needs at least once in their lifetime. Okay, you can't cry because you're gonna have me cry. It's hard to sum her up and keep it short when there are so many stories, and this is so true, and experiences we have seen for ourselves. She is the teacher who kids want to be with and love so dearly. You can find her sitting in her reading chair, getting into character with just the right voice if you happen to walk in at just the right time. She's the teacher you will find playing sports on the playground and impressing all the kids. She's the teacher on the sideline cheering on the kids like they are her own. Yes, that means yelling at the top of her lungs too. She is hard on herself and humble when given praise. Not only is she a great teacher, but she's also an amazing team player that gives to her team and offers to help even when her plate is overflowing and very full. We love you, Whit. Mrs. Foster, Mrs. Harper, and Mrs. Pelzel. Now here's some reasons the students say that Miss Kill is amazing. She is always so kind. She knows when I'm sad and when I need a hug that brightens my day. And that just doesn't go for kids, that's for the whole staff. You're always there for us. She is so good at teaching and always helps us. When she reads, she's acting it out with expression. You need to visit her classroom and hear it. It's amazing. We love it. It is so fun. She loves us even though we can be tough some days. She plays basketball with us and makes it fun. And she never complains whose ball it is like other people. She never complains whose ball it is like other people. She is always around to check on us. Whitney Kill, you make GES a special place to be, and you are a blessing to us. And we thank you for all you bring to our campus. And congratulations.
I bring up Miss Sarah Klonch, our middle school principal. I forgot one more little procedure. When all the recognitions are done, we're going to ask the students to come up and take one group picture as well. If I didn't tell you, let you know that Miss Ningley would fire me tomorrow. So before you leave, make sure we get all the students and teachers up for our group picture. Miss Klonch, the floor is yours.
Hi, good evening. Mr. Martinell and the board, I have the pleasure of recognizing Neely Cox. If she could go ahead and come up here. Neely is new together and is already making her mark as a Tiger. Ms. Colvin, our assistant principal, declared that she wishes Neely would have been here sooner so that she could have had the pleasure of teaching her. Everyone already loves her and is drawn to her kind personality. In class, her teachers say that she is hardworking and that she tries her best on all assignments. She always strives to do her personal best and will always ask questions if she does not understand things. Ms. Brayer, her math teacher, says she thanks me when she leaves class every day and has a smile that brightens my day. Ms. Schroeder, her ELA teacher, added, Neely is a wonderful, thoughtful student. She goes above and beyond on every assignment because she truly wants to do her best. She is very conscientious and a joy to have in class. She is respectful and kind to everyone. She always has a positive attitude and never complains. She leads by example and is a true stand-up. Neely is a model student and exemplifies everything we hold dear at GMS. She is a joy to have, as you can tell from all of her teachers, and we can't wait to see her do big things. Congratulations. Hold on just a second. Good job. Angie Mendoza could go ahead and come on up here. So again, Mr. Martin and the board, I have the pleasure of recognizing Angie Mendoza for our Fall Superintendent Award. Angie is an exceptional student and peers. She is a quiet student who always works hard and helps others. She is bright and funny, and we are so happy to have her at GMS. Coach McDaniel, her science teacher, nominated Angie for this award, and he says, Angie is a quiet leader, but hardworking student. She always tries her best and is kind to her classmates. Ms. Holsey, her math teacher, says, Angie is a hard worker who is highly motivated. She's a great student leader to have in class. Coach Ackroyd, her ELA teacher, says, Angie is a very sweet and hardworking student. She comes into class every day ready to learn and is always prepared. No matter what Angie is doing, whether it's sports, school, or extracurricular activities, she is very dedicated. She will always be sure to do what is asked of her and ensure she is doing it well. She cares for others and always has a smile on her face. Angie is the model student that exemplifies everything we hold dear at GMS. Again, she is a joy to have, and we can't wait to see her do big things. Congratulations. And last but not least, she's gonna hate every minute of this. Miss Putnicki, can you please join me up here? Mr. Martindale and the board, I consider recognizing Melanie Putnicki for our staff award. Melanie is a loving wife and mother to two beautiful daughters. She often tells the staff about their accomplishments, and you can tell how proud she is of them. Melanie works tirelessly in the front office as the secretary, data clerk, and receptionist, and so much more than that, but those are just her technical titles. She always has a smile on her face and is a constant source of positivity. She helps to run the campus from day to day, checks on staff when they're sick, and helps our students. Melanie builds relationships with staff and families and is a source of knowledge for many. Some of the staff had these things to say about her. Simply put, we are in awe of Melanie. She is truly the glue that holds us together. From the hundreds of phone calls to the students needing help, to the parents and visitors coming into the office, to all of the staff asking questions all day long, the list could go on and on. What the most amazing thing about Melanie is that she does it all with a smile on her face and a calm, helpful demeanor. She is definitely the crowning jewel of GMS and is loved by all of us. It's from Ms. Bond. And then Ms. Lindbergh says, Melanie meets every request with a smile and a gentle voice and follow through. She is careful in all that she does to make sure everything from paperwork to children checkout to child checkout is by the book. This keeps our documents correct and our kids safe and accounted for. I have never seen Melanie's patience waver. On top of all of that, she looks for opportunities to make kids smile. She does make a lot of really good jokes with kids in the office. We love Miss Putnicki. From Mr. Fletcher, Melanie is a beast at her job. She is so kind and polite to everyone, students, staff, and parents. She is such a wonderful person to be friends with, and I appreciate her enthusiasm. Ms. Putnicki is often the first face that anyone sees when they enter GMS. We are so blessed that she has all of these wonderful qualities and so many more, and I could not think of another staff member more deserving of this award. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you.
I'm privileged tonight to get to honor two amazing young people. This young lady I'm going to introduce first, and this young man after her. Their personalities are completely different. If you were in the hallways, you would see that, but they're both just great human beings, and I can't thank them enough, thank the parents enough for what you've done raising both of these young people. So, first, the Board of Trustees, Mr. Martindale, it is my privilege to introduce to you Ms. Chloe Johnson. Chloe is in honor of Mr. Matthew Johnson. Chloe is a member of the varsity volleyball team, varsity tennis team, member of NHS, and plays club volleyball. Chloe has many accomplishments both on and off the court. She has been on the principal's honor roll for all 3 years. Currently ranked number 3 in her class and has won several class awards throughout her years at Gunter High School. On the court, Chloe has been named District Newcomer of the Year, Academic All-District, All-Texoma Newcomer of the Year, and she was a huge part of the state championship last year. She is also committed to play Division I volleyball at Long Beach State University. In her free time, Chloe likes to hang out with friends, listen to music, continue working on her volleyball skills. A few comments on what her teachers had to say about Chloe. Chloe does incredible work in APR. Her skill level is incredible, but her ideas and her investigation also have breadth and depth. She consistently works hard and models integrity for others. We are blessed to have her as a Gunter title, and that's Ms. Harper. Chloe maintains incredibly high standards for herself and strives to achieve them, and that was from Mr. Eaton. And last, Coach Winchell has this. Chloe is such a great representative of Gunter High School as her work ethic and character are above and beyond. She works tirelessly to achieve a high level in the classroom, on the court, and in life. She tackles tough situations with confidence and composure and isn't afraid to step in and lead from the front of any group. Chloe is also the first to acknowledge and praise others for their successes. Chloe truly is a great kid, student, athlete that represents Gunter ISD and our values in the best possible way. That was Coach Winston. So once again, congratulations. Chloe's going to have to track down the hall and get something out of her to get her to talk a little bit. This next young man, I've got to watch that way he doesn't come slapping me back the head. But, so, Board of Trustees, Mr. Martindale, it is my privilege now to introduce to you Mr. Colson Wood. All right. Colson is the son of Steve and Kim Wood. Colson is involved in baseball, football, and the bass fishing team. In his free time, he likes to hunt, fish, and spend time with his family. And he also has a lot of accolades and awards. And I asked him to put some, he's like, I'm good. So, a few of what his coaches and teachers had to say about Colson. First, Coach Gill. Colson is disciplined, he's others first, and a high-end person. So as a student and a teammate, these traits are often shown. If something needs to get done and done right, Colson is your guy. If there is an opportunity to serve to help another person, Colson is your guy. If there is a rigorous task at hand, Colson is your guy. Colson's high character makes him a dependable and selfless person that excels in whatever he does because of who he is. Coach Gill. And this next one's Coach Fazell. He's a man of few words. But Colson Wood, great attitude, great character. Coach Grant had this to say, one of the highest character kids I've ever had the pleasure of coaching. Colson is humble, dependable, has an amazing positive attitude, and never complains. Gunter ISD is a better place because of Colson, and he represents the best attributes of what a young man should be. That was Coach Grant. And last, Mr. Wagner. Colson has always been polite. I'm not sure I've seen him without a smile. He possesses an infectious enthusiasm that is evident in his relationships with his peers and teachers. He is easygoing, approachable demeanor has made him a favorite here at GHS, Mr. Wagner. And with both of these, I could have filled up a page, 2 pages full. I just had to go back and pick through. But I'm telling you, when these two got nominated, their names keep coming up. I could stand up here all night with both of these. So, once again, Colson Wood. All right, Miss McGoy, come on up. I think she just got done with rehearsals, so. The Board of Trustees, Mr. Martindale, it's my privilege now to recognize Ms. Amy McGoy. Ms. McGoy is in her 9th year in education and 2nd year here in Gunter. She established the first official theater program at Gunter ISD. Ms. McGoy currently teaches theater production and technical theater at the middle school and high school levels. In her first year, they produced 2 award-winning one-act plays, 2 musicals, and a combined middle and high school Christmas program. This year, her middle school enrollment tripled in size, so that'll tell you what she does in the classroom. It's tripled in size, and they will perform a Christmas program with nearly 150 8th graders in December. Ms. McGoy stated her hope is to continue introducing Gunter students to the magic of theater and hopefully instill a broader and lifelong appreciation of the performing arts. One of her colleagues had this to say, Ms. McGoy is a remarkable theater arts teacher whose dedication, hard work, and genuine love for her students shines through. Ms. McGoy has not only excelled in teaching theater arts, but has also taken on diverse classes with passion and commitment. Her impact on students' lives is truly commendable. And the next two come from your students. Ms. McGoy is an amazing teacher and has taught me so much through her time here. She not only got us involved in International Thespian Society, she also transformed our choir program to an amazing theater program that puts on amazing productions year-round. We competed in UL on act, and we couldn't have done it without her. She is so good at what she does, and she has transformed not only the stuff you see on stage, but backstage too. She has gotten us from 8 mic packs to 14. Got us a brand new one in a unit set. New LED lights for stage. For non-theater people, that is a big deal. We can't wait for the years ahead with her. Another student had this to say: I've only had Ms. McGoy as a teacher for a few months, yet she has made a huge impact on my life. My life has been changed by Ms. McGoy because I have anxiety, and she has helped me not only start to overcome my anxiety, but also become more confident in all aspects of my life. She has made the theater program a unified team. When Ms. McGoy had done everything she could to fix the environment for everyone. She is a great teacher and makes everything understandable for all learning types. Ms. McGoy puts in more time and effort than an average teacher, and it shows because she produces fabulous shows. She gives her all in everything she does, and you feel motivated to do the same when you're around her. Thank you for this opportunity to spotlight one of the most inspirational teachers I've ever had. So, Ms. Amy McGoy.
Principals, thank you again. Students, teachers, thank you for being here. I want to take just one real quick second and wish Colson and Chloe good luck. They both have some big games coming up on Thursday. It's not often I get an opportunity to wish our kids good luck, so wish you both good luck to not tomorrow night, but Thursday night. Before we wrap up recognitions, we have one more very special recognition. Not that the others weren't special, but this gentleman, we want to take a few moments to recognize him. Mark Williams, will you come up, please? Mark, I got you 100 grand. That's from the middle school. They want to get you. There's a t-shirt in here that says Mark, Mr. Williams, the man, the myth, the legend. If you know Mark Williams, you know that's very true. Thank you, sir. Well, I should be handing it to you instead of you handing it to me. Your certificate. We appreciate your service.
Yes, sir.
This is a bag full of thank you cards that were made by students. So I'm going to make sure you get those. Guys, we're recognizing Mr. Williams tonight because he has, he's been fighting with me for months because I keep telling him I'm turning up his paperwork, but he's retiring at the end of this semester. And if you don't know much about Mr. Williams, he is one of the cornerstones of GISD. We appreciate you. I tore your paperwork up again, but you said you'd made many copies, so we decided to quit playing the game. I want to share a few things now, and Mr. Carter mentioned pages upon pages what you could have from Chloe and Colson, and I do have pages upon pages about you, Mr. Williams. I want to share some of these. Colson, don't take this personally. Coach Mazzell gave you a few words. He gave Mr. Williams a paragraph. Mr. Williams is the epitome of what GISD represents. He is diligent and selfless, cares for others more than himself, and has a great attitude. I've learned a lot from Mr. Williams, watching the way he interacts with others. Always a kind word, always doing his job, and always leads with love. We will miss him greatly and wish him the very best in retirement. That's from Coach Mazzell. Now, the woman behind the scenes that runs the program, Ms. Mazerol, Mr. Williams has a kind and loving heart towards everyone he meets and goes out of his way to make you feel valued. He has a servant's heart and always caters to the campuses each month by bringing donuts around, which puts a smile on our faces. Just a true, gentle soul that cares for others. It has been a pleasure to be able to be around him and work with him. I wish Mr. Williams the best in retirement years. We miss seeing his smiling face around campus. Sincerely, Linda Mazerol. You're so sweet. Courtney Best. Mr. Williams was one of the first people I met when I came to Gunter. He greeted me with a smile and we chatted for a good while about where I was from and what I would be teaching in Gunter. I can't think of a better person to have welcomed me into the Gunter Tiger family. I walked away from our conversation feeling grateful to be here. Another sweet thing. Still the same. Miss Ruffle. Mr. Williams is a gentle soul who is always willing to help us out. I'm going to go on for a few more, guys. The man deserves it. Nicole Mann, who is our Director of Transportation. Mark has been such a blessing to our district. He's a very valuable member of our transportation family. I don't ever remember a time when Mark wasn't willing to help. He's always there when needed. He has driven countless field trips, run many rain shuttles, even if it means missing lunch, helped fix buses and shuttle them to the shop, taken vehicles to get washed, and even ran to the tax office for me. God bless you. That is self-preserver. Yes. I can't name off all the things that Mark has done to help our department be successful. Anything I need, he is always willing to help. Mark has rarely taken off a school day. He is always here to drive his route. I know I can depend on him to be here for his kids and our transportation family. Mark always has a positive attitude and a smile on his face. He will be missed. I wish him all the best. Enjoy retirement if you deserve it. A few more. Miss Carruthers. I have appreciated working with Mark all these years for his calming demeanor and his willingness to help out whenever asked. He never acts put out or inconvenienced. It doesn't hurt that he has a great sense of humor as well. I can always count on a response from Mark on my faculty emails that will make me smile. He will be missed. Miss Neely. Gunter's loss is your personal gain. You've earned the chance to spend time with your family, especially those grands, in your retirement. Each and every person who has crossed your path has been blessed in some way, including me. Your kindness and caring heart are an inspiration, and I can only hope that some of that has rubbed off on me. Guys, you hear a common theme as we talk about Mark Williams, and that's just loving others, and selfless, and servant, and Mark, that's what I've been around for the last 3 years. I appreciate all that you've done for our district. I have one more, and this tells you really how this guy is. I'm not going to call out the teacher's name, but it's funny because she rose. He brings my children to Sonic during summer PD when I've forgotten to feed them. That's what kind of guy he is. He'll even go to Sonic and feed your kids for you. Mark, we appreciate you. I want you to take this. Like I said, there's 3 pages front and back here. I'm sorry I'm not reading all of them, but I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll tell you paperwork out tomorrow. Fair enough? Fair enough. I say no more. Please do. Okay.
Mr. Mark Taylor, thank you so kindly. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of making your request. It's a blessed opportunity to be here before you this evening. I'm so thankful for this. Everything that Mr. Mark Taylor read is absolutely true. He's a gentleman and a scholar and a great judge of character. But it has been an amazing 5.5 years with me. It really has. The best job I've ever had. I've been working for 55 years, maybe better than that. I've been working for a long time. Tomorrow I turn 70, yeah. But, yeah, the Lord brought me here for a reason, and now at the end of 5.5 years, I know exactly why He's had me here. Loving the kids and the staff here is a piece of cake. You know, it's the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. It really is. Teachers and all the schools, admin, and especially the kids. Oh my gosh. Sometimes, you know, I want to give them a hug like this, and sometimes it's just a hug like this. But no, they're a blessing. It's like I have 1,200 grandkids. I love them all, and again, I love the staff. I'm so thankful to have been here. It's bittersweet for me to leave. It really is. It's my plan. It's the Lord's plan as well. I will be back, you know, often to visit, especially the campuses. Maybe spend some time with the kids and the teachers. Other than that, I'm so thankful for the stipend as well. Christmas right around the corner. Appreciate that. My kids have my grandkids. Well, it's this long, so where's he go to go this time? Maybe once again. But yeah, I'm calling quits on December 29th. Again, it brings tears to my eyes. It does hear these words in Mr. Montreal. It's just read from so many teachers. Most humbled and honored to be up there and give such words. I truly am. I give the Lord all the thanks, all the praise going on for what He does through me and in me. I will miss all of you very much. I truly will. Thank you all so much for having me, for allowing me to stay here for 5.5 years. I'm blessed. Thank you all for this.
Guys, I'm going to take a brief break here for students. If you'll come up so we can get a group picture, teachers so we can get a group picture of you. I know I started with the fact that board meetings are lots of fun and very entertaining, but if you don't want to stick around after the pictures, guys, you're really welcome to leave. So there's probably something to be eaten before we're done. So y'all come up and we can do it, guys.
This is the camera.
Let's say.
All right, we are on item B under superintendent report, which is monthly financial reports. And Ms. Ford, the floor is yours.
We'll start on page 11 with the month-end report for October. It starts with our income, which that 2.5, we get our two large payments of our state money at the beginning of the year. And then obviously our expenses outweigh that at this time. The auditor was just here, so that is the correct fund balance now. So that will be correct going forward. So that was good news. It did increase. The first time that's happened in 5 years since I've been here. We were at 30. I'll have to look. I don't remember. It was 30 something. On the next page is debt service. And so obviously that income's not coming in and we won't make those first payments until February. And that fund balance is also been updated and that increased a good amount, which we were expecting, which will help out this year for the deficit that we had in the payments, which we were also expecting after selling the bonds. Food service, we finally got our payments for August and September. I guess they hired somebody at USDA. They only had one person who did that and she quit. So, he did tell us we still have about $17,000 we need to spend down with them, so I'll get with Lauren and make sure that she does that. I'm pretty sure we can probably find something pretty quick to spend. On page 14 is the statement of positions for our investments. Techstar still at 5.32. They've gone down a little. They were originally at like 5.4 something. So Lamar had increased our one bond up to that amount. So they've stated that. And so they contacted me the other day to see if we were keeping what was in there, or if we were going to increase that anytime soon. And I told them if they would increase our other accounts interest rate, that I'd move more money over there. And they just sent me a new collateral page to sign that did include that. So, inventory of investments is on the next page, which kind of mimics what this other says. So we were at Lamar was at about 4.84% average, and it's at 5.04 for this month. And then our property tax collections obviously are at very low amounts for the beginning of the year. That money will start coming in it starts coming in December, and it gets a little heavier in January and February. And
And then if you'll turn to page 34, I did a budget update for the first 9 weeks. So I went in and redid finance template with our actual numbers for our attendance ratings, where we are right now. So as where we stand at the end of the 9 weeks, we're actually increasing our state funding about $295,000, which is really good. So that would take us out of that deficit that we had passed, and we would be putting about $78,000 into fund balance. So as long as our attendance stays where it is, we should be in a good place at the end of the year, even if the state doesn't do anything. Yeah. So that is all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Wood. Board members, we turn to page 43. That's the next item under communication enrollment update. You can see as a district we have remained at 1140 total enrollment. High school, when this was printed, was at 362. Just so you know, we submitted 363 for realignment purposes, and we'll find out if we remain 380D2 or go to 380D1 in January. So I'll share that with you guys as soon as we get that information. You can see the middle school took a little dip by 3, but the elementary increased by 7. So again, it is just typical public school. We have families moving in, moving out. And I'm sure the principals have more about specific attendance on their campuses, so I'm not going to drag that out. Moving on to bond construction update, we have Mr. Joe Vetters here again with us from Gallagher. Thank you for being here, Mr. Vetters.
No problem, thank you. I'll start with the elementary school. We had some weather challenges, but we've kind of worked our way through them, and we're taking advantages of this good weather that we do have. We're continuing to run the sanitary sewer. We are probably at about 75 or 80% completion through that. Transitioning over into our water, we did have a meeting with Mustang, so we've got the release on them. We are probably at about 65% completion with all the water. So we've transitioned coming through Preston Crossing. We've already made the loop on the south end of the property, so we're kind of working our way back around. So it's progressing quite well. Now while the water and the sewer's going in, we are continuing with the foundation systems. We are about 65-70% complete on our piers. So we're transitioning from the gymnasium is where we started because that's the priority. So as we transition in a clockwise rotation, we will be starting our grade beams this next week. You'll see material start arriving, which is your rebar, and some floorboards in there. So we'll start working on that and getting that progressing. We have a few meetings that are coming up. So we have a storm shelter meeting that's coming up. So we'll have everybody involved in that: architects, engineers, all the subcontractors, so we can get everybody in place before we go breaking ground on that. But the elementary school is progressing quite well. We do have a transition where we're going to go to Karsten Pass. That's in about a 2-week period, so we're going to be working with the city to make sure that we can notify the homeowners over there once we get back in that little Karsten Pass crossing. We have a sewer system that we got to tie into over there. But elementary is progressing quite well. Middle school, we're planning on trying to make a transition with our electrical, but we were having conversations with the district, and it behooves us to move it to a Christmas break. The challenges that presented both the district as well as us just didn't seem feasible at this time, so we just kind of put that on a holding pattern. There are some things that we got to do with the middle school as far as getting the secondary underground in there. If you look at some of these photos that are coming through there with the middle school, we're proceeding with the chemical injection. We're about 55-65% with that. We're transitioning through that power. That's the secondary system I was talking about. The power poles are up. Encore's come out, made the transition, so they're getting those prepped and ready for those transformers in there. We have made the tie-in across from the middle school on the south side of Tiger Lane. We're now transitioning across Tiger Lane back over to the middle school. Fire hydrants are in there. We have those inspected, so we're making sure that we can get those sleeved and progress through there. In addition, we're coordinating the fiber from the high school, the existing high school, and making the connections to the middle school, and then transitioning over to the ball fields and the ag shop up that direction. Transitioning over into the high school, we have our transformer pads in place. Like I said, we were coordinating with Encore. We're gonna hold that on until the Christmas break. We have completed both the 8x8 box, the 10x10 boxes. So we do have the head roll on at the stadium. Everything can transition as far as your sanitary down. We do have one coordination at the high school corner of Tiger Lane. We did get a design from Mustang, so we're going to have to drop that water line. It's on the corner right there. So we will be working probably over the break to get that lowered and getting that in, so we're not impeding any kind of traffic and everything running through that area. Building A, which is the extension, the classroom extension, you'll see the drill rig that's out there. We're about halfway done with those piers over there. There's a lot of cages that are going in there. So those foundation systems are going in right now, and then we'll start working on the form boards to get the foundations put in place. So quite a bit going on, 3 campuses, high school, middle school, and elementary. So it's exciting. It's going to start something a lot more. Any questions? Sorry, my presentation was as long as the last one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item C3.
No, say it.
Principal reports. We'll let Ms. Keller go forward first.
Board and Mr. Martindale, I'm excited to report that our attendance for this month is at 96.4%. It came up, which we're super excited about because our pre-K and kinder grade levels were down just a little bit due to illness, which is understandable this time of year, and our littles typically are the ones that catch it. They've not been in school, so they're the ones that catch it first. So we continue to do our Attendance Matters Surprise Days. I think the 31st of October, every child got a sucker that Ms. Rakeen's mother helped us make within the shape of a ghost as they walked out the door to tell them how much we appreciated them being at school that day. We are continuing to come up with ideas to encourage that attendance. And then we have a board, I don't know if you've been through our building, but there's a bulletin board up that is showing all the students and staff the attendance rate for every grade level. And second grade won it for October, and they're about to receive a popcorn party with Ms. Rakeen and I to reward them for being at school every day. We talk about it all the time of how much attendance matters, and seeing them in our building is important to us. The social emotional wellness goal, I'm super excited to tell you that this month, November, first grade is doing our Tigers Helping Tigers project. Their service project is linked to a book called Maddie's Fridge, and it's a beautiful story that first grade actually brought to us last year. It's a mentor text that they read during their reading RLA time, reading and language arts time. And in this story, the character Maddie learns that her best friend doesn't have any food to eat. And so she, to not embarrass the friend, that she decides to host a food drive. And so our first graders and their teachers are hosting a food drive. We have boxes all throughout our building, and they are overflowing with food that's been donated since the 1st of November. That food will go back to help support our local community through Love Packs. Ms. Colvin was very instrumental last year in working with them to provide boxes for our families and students to have meals over the holidays and during the summertime. So it's so awesome to see our kids working towards projects that give back to our community. In terms of our innovative learning goal, this is a goal that is ongoing. If you remember last month I shared with you that Ms. Locke was studying about Native Americans and doing that project. So each grade level has one that they'll do it this month. We do not have one, but we will be reporting on those as I present. As far as a future ready goal, that is our goal that we're focusing on this month. We completed our beginning of the year assessments in MAP, which is our measures of academic progress that we do district-wide. And our Amplify scores is the testing that we use to report to the state of where our reading scores are. And those were done in September. Currently, we will not have those tests until January, so we'll have to wait till January to get that data, analyze it, and report back to you. But we're excited to see our teachers are working every day to help our kids grow and meet those goals. I would like to brag on a teacher, as I do every month, and this one is such a special blessing. This summer, we needed a music teacher. And Ms. Perez, our pre-K teacher, we approached her and asked her if she would consider taking on that role. She was a little bit hesitant, but as always, Ms. Perez does everything with such grace and just says, whatever you ask me to do, I'll do. And we are like, we believe in you. We know that this is stepping out of your comfort zone and stepping into an area that you have not had as much training in. And she agreed. She worked with Ms. Brackeen and I all summer, and also Ms. Hale to make sure we had materials for her. She asked around, talked to other music teachers, found out what she needed to do, and we began the school year, and she's dynamite. But we got to see the fruits of her labor this past week at our Veterans Day ceremony at the high school. I might say that Mr. Barton may have said he might have been a little misty-eyed after our performance of our third graders who performed We Honor You. Last night, you can see our stage is decorated, the beautiful flowers behind you. Last night, our third grade got to perform their Veterans Day program for their families and relatives and servicemen and women who came. It was phenomenal. I cannot be any prouder. I got a little misty-eyed myself last night in introducing her because she has taken this role, and listening to those kids last night, and I used to be a music teacher, those kids knew what they were singing about, and they sang with such sincerity, and they honored our servicemen and women last night. So my shout out is to Ms. Perez, fabulous teacher, and she is rocking it, as I told her. I got so many compliments after the Veterans Day program at the high school, but even more so last night of parents texting me and emailing me going, it was incredible. Families that drove in for 2.5 hours and back home 2.5 hours, 5 hours round trip to be honored last night were just in awe, and their poppies that the students presented to them were on their tables this morning. So just awesome shout out to her. And lastly, we'll talk about our programs. Our students are getting geared up and ready for our UIL competition at Blue Ridge Elementary. That will be on Friday, December the 1st. We brought home the championship last year, so we hope to do that again this year. Ms. Tara Rice is in charge of that. She works not only with our campus, but also on the middle school campus with our fifth graders and teachers there. So send us out some cheers and support for December 1st. We want to bring that trophy home. And lastly, we formed our 3rd and 4th grade student leadership team, and they already have begun serving throughout our building. They opened doors, and they assisted last night and passed out programs for our Veterans Day program and are just leading the way. Thank you for letting me brag and share on my campus.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So starting off with our attendance report, our attendance report for the entire campus is at around 96.8%. So we're going up, which is great. We've gone up in every grade level except for 6th grade, which dipped just a teeny tiny bit. So the kiddos are doing a really good job there. We celebrated last 9 weeks with coupons from the principal. So the kiddos that got perfect attendance all got put in a pot, and we drew out 15 names, and they all got to come choose a coupon. They were a variety of things, 100 on an assignment, change your lowest grade to 100. They thought average. I was like, no, assignment. So I had to be real clear about expectation. And then one of them was pick 5 friends to have donuts with. That was the most popular one. I bought a lot of donuts, but it was really exciting just to see them excited about their good work and the fact that they've been at school every day for the first 9 weeks. So we're going to continue to do that every 9 weeks, and then maybe start some grade level celebrations like the elementary has done. But the kiddos are doing a great job with that. We've also started our prime time, which is our makeup seat time. So Ms. Colvin has been making those personal phone calls to family to explain kind of truancy and what that entails and that 90% rule and things like that. And just making sure kids are understanding that we want them at school and that we are also able to help them make up that time if needed, because things happen and we totally understand that. So we're here to help you make up that time if you need that. Fifth grade is participating in UIL on December 1st, so we're super excited about that. We have a large group of students, lots of different teams, so we're excited about doing that pretty soon. It's coming up pretty soon. Our social and emotional wellness goal, our PBIS committee has been created. Teachers are working on implementation and kind of looking at those GMS core values. We decided to kind of take a step back with it and involve teachers more. And then what we're wanting to do is involve teachers and students. So we're going to kind of meet with teachers, talk about our core values, kind of get our vision and our kind of ideas going, and then bring kids in to refine that and just see how we can help kids and motivate kids day to day. So they're kind of going to all be a part of that positive behavior support at the middle school. Our innovative learning goal was our teen leadership class participating in those project-based learning. So this month, they put their words into action, and they are creating fleece blankets for the Tribute Senior Living Center in Prosper for their memory care unit. So we had an overwhelming, we put this out on Monday, I believe, on Facebook. We had an overwhelming amount of the community bring us fleece fabric. So now we have doubled the roll of the blankets. So they're going to work on lots of blankets for that specific community memory care unit, and then anyone else we can help with those blankets. But the leadership class researched and studied service projects, and they thought this one was the most attainable and the one that they could take action on the quickest. So great kids working on that. And Ms. Schroeder is leading the charge with that, so I just want to give her a shout out. She's incredible. Teachers are setting and tracking student goals. That's part of our Future Ready goal. Our 6th grade team, for example, is looking at map data. We are all looking at map data. Ms. Lorenzini and Ms. Hale came to the middle school campus on that PD day that we had and went through how to read that data and then what to do with it after that. So we focused on that during that day, and our 6th grade team, for example, is taking that data and talking about it with kids. They're looking at it with kids, and then they're setting goals based on that data. We'll take another round in January, and so we're excited to see that growth and celebrate that growth with kids. And then that leads to our December goal of 100% of students setting and tracking those academic goals themselves. And then just like happenings around the middle school, we ended volleyball and football season all district champs, so we're so excited for the kids with that. We have our very first school dance happening on Saturday, December 2nd. Our student council is leading that. They came up with the theme Winter Wonderland, so it's going to be a really fun time. We had a teacher pumpkin decorating contest that got very competitive, as it should. It was wonderful. The kids all voted on the best pumpkin. I have pictures that I haven't posted yet because they're hysterical, so I need to show you guys. But Miss Ferguson, Miss Clement, and Miss Bullard came out on top. And so they requested a Mexican food lunch, and so they got to have lunch. And then our 5th grade kids won the food drive. They had the most food brought in, the most items. And so they got to celebrate yesterday with Coke floats. So we had a great time doing that as well. Basketball is beginning for both boys and girls. And the GMS band is going to be featured in a holiday concert, and then they're also going to bring the kids to come carol at the middle school and the elementary school. So we're very excited about that too. Thank you guys.
They all get to have the fun donut parties and all that stuff. Our kids just party when they get told they don't have any more seat time and makeup hours. So that's what we're still currently working on. Our 9th grade numbers this 3rd cycle were 96.27. 10th grade was 95.89. 11th grade was 96.38, and 12th grade was 95.02. Unfortunately, kind of at the end of the semester, you do start seeing a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a lull. So we are continuing to push out notifications to parents, to the kids, meet with them on a daily basis of you have makeup hours, and it's working because I had several emails today regarding that. So we're going to continue to push, and I know sometimes when we have Thursday night football games, it's a little bit difficult on a Friday to encourage those kids to get there. So that's a little bit of the law, but we're going to continue to get after it right now. Like I said, we're kind of maintaining about that 96%. I know we're shooting for 97, but we will continue to plug away on that. Most of mine is going to be in this last month. As you know, we have tons of things going on, so I like to spotlight the kids. So a lot of what you're going to hear is that. One of the groups that just got back, Miss McGory, you met her earlier. She took a group down to San Antonio this weekend to the Texas Thespian Festival. Several students, there was 4 students that all earned superior ratings for their solo musical performances, and they have advanced to the national competition that'll be held next June. I'm not sure where that competition will be held, but we had 4 students: Audrey McGoy, Berkeley Coates, Ethan Vest, and the other one is not listed for some reason, but that will go and perform on that in June. Christy Greer was also one of 4 students chosen to serve on the Texas Honor Crew, and she said literally out of thousands of students. So that's an impressive feat. She was busy behind the scenes making sure things worked on the technical side of everything. When they went there, students had the opportunity to go over workshops covering all aspects of theater, from hair, makeup design, improv, singing, lighting, sound design, dialect training, sewing, sketching, costuming, basically everything that you need for a theater production. They got some hands-on training with that this past weekend. So she is doing an incredible job with that program. It's we're going to have to start looking at a different place to put her and all those kids, which is a good thing. Ms. Keller touched on this a little bit while ago. Our Veterans Day program that we had last Friday, we were able to recognize and honor 45 veterans that just showed up, which was a great number. We had lots and lots of positive comments when we left there. We had students helping out. FFA students were official dress, were welcoming. They were serving kids, or serving the veterans as they were having breakfast. Our NHS kids helped set up and help organize different aspects of the program. So having those leadership groups step up, they did a tremendous job, and it was very very positive experience for everybody, I believe. And like I said, those third veterans almost got me. That was a good thing. Ag has been working extremely hard. They started a lot of competitions. Some District 3 results that they had. Our Green Hand Creek speaking team was first place, and they are going to advance to area. Our job interview team was second place, and they will also be advancing. Ag Issues was second place, will be advancing. Green Hand Quiz team was third. Radio broadcasting fourth. Creed speaking 6, and senior quiz 6. So we had a lot of success at the district meet with our FFA teams, which is exciting. A few signings, and I've been from districts from 5A to 2A, coaching as an administrator. Per capita, the kids we have, I've never seen anything like the signings that we have here. And not just the signings, the quality of signings and where the kids are going, it's pretty incredible. We had 3 this past signing day. Abby Elmore is going to the University of Florida to run track. Breeley Malden is going to University of Arkansas Fort Smith to play volleyball, and then we have Kate Dotson that's going to Oklahoma University to play baseball. And we're going to have several more next year. The next song, it just keeps it's incredible. But that's an attribute to what the kids do in the classroom, along with the playing fields. And obviously, you're not going to go to these places if you're not taking care of your academics. So, super proud of all these kids. On November 3rd, Brody McDonald went to compete in the state cross-country meet. Out of 150 runners, he placed 55th, and I think ran a best time for him, which was 17 minutes and 26 seconds. So that's a lot of runners. That's a lot of traffic, and he competed well down there. So he represented Gunter in a good way at that meet. And the last thing, one of the favorite classroom things that we have throughout the year that I enjoy, and it's in collaboration with the elementary, once again comes out of this kind of spotlight Miss McGory, comes out of the theater tech programs. It's called the Big Tigers Catering to Our Little Tigers. So students in Miss McGory's middle school and high school tech theater classes delivered handmade monster plushies to the elementary pre-K students. This project is a culmination of our costume sewing unit, where students learn to create and design based on a director's vision. The neat part of this, the director in this, is the pre-K student. So the pre-K student got to draw a picture of a monster that they wanted a little plushy little stuffed animal, so they got to draw that picture. And so our high school students got to make that, sew it, custom, and then they got to come hand deliver it to those kids. So a few lessons learned with that. Sometimes the vision isn't always clear. Two, deadlines are deadlines. And then hard work yields high rewards, because getting to hear our kids talk about the impact that they made on the little kids and the smiles on their face was incredible. So that's probably one of my favorite, when we get to come down here and interact with those little kids. So that's all I got.
There's pictures on Facebook.
Thank you guys. Great job. I appreciate all your hard work.
Let me tell you the schedule real quick. I left off an important day on Thursday. Obviously, we're out of school on Thursday. We're going to send the girls off at 7:30. If you can be there, high school parking lot, we're going to send them off. We're going to go down to Garland, and we're going to put it on Bushland. Not Bushland, Columbus. We'll get to Bushland later. So that's on Thursday. Also Thursday night, 7 o'clock, area playoff round. Our boys are playing City View at CH Collins and Denton. So just make a day of it. Take the day off, make a day of it, and go over there, support both groups. I'm talking about, there's nobody in the state that works harder than those groups. Period. Friday, varsity girls basketball tournaments in Denison. JV boys basketball will play at home against Sam Rayburn. JV starts at 5:30, varsity starts at 7. And then our girls basketball is in tournament at Denison on Saturday, the continuation of that tournament, Friday and Saturday in Denison. So,
Thank you, Stuart.
I just wanted to express our thanks from the board to your leadership. I think it's hard sometimes to see the impact of your leadership, and based on what Brittany shared with us today, your diligence and your leadership at your campuses is making an impact on our district, with financial integrity and this engagement of the students. The fact that they refuse to assign their person, they're engaged and they're paying attention, and that's due to your leadership and the leadership below you, the teachers, all the staff. And I cannot thank you enough for all the positivity, and I just think that we have everyone, we talk about it all the time. The leadership is well respected, and you see the numbers, you see how that's impacting our district, that bottom line, and that's not what it's all about. It starts with y'all. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Y'all have families too.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good evening. Last item under superintendent communications, just upcoming events. We have a ton of stuff going on, so I'm not going to dive into all our activities. On page 1 of your binder though, just remember December 18th, the next board meeting. But we will have our Kerfoot meeting at 6, and then I will recess and go into our regular meeting starting at 6:30. That will be at the administration building. January will be another recognition month, so just be aware of that. We typically do those at the high school. This is not a bad setting right here, so I'll communicate with you, but we may move our recognition meetings onto this campus. This seems to work very well. And those are the only 2 items on the road on your plate right now. Just start that long list of things too. So, moving on to board member report. Yes, first page of your binders should be the signature page. If you will sign that and leave it in your binders, Ms. Watson will collect those. Those go to the auditors. So please make sure you sign that before you leave. Then we have finance committee. Don't know how much we updated last time we met. Our next meeting is December 6th. Mr. Murder serves on that. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, I think it was just a general good idea. I don't know what you said before, but basically the initial meeting was well represented, a lot of engagement, folks involved in there. It was kind of a basic, let's get everybody kind of grounded on a lot of it. We had a couple of community members both have experience in school finance. So they have great insights, and I found it was a very useful amount of time. Obviously, it was the first one, and we have one coming up pretty soon, and just get to go on, but there'll be more to communicate with them later meetings, but right now it's kind of getting together and getting everybody kind of focused on what we wanted to do, but I thought it was well worth the time. So thank you for going together.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Margaret. Our other committee that we formed this year, Communication Committee, we've met twice now. I know that Ms. Marks, Mr. Scano both serve on that committee. Our last meeting was October 26th. If you guys want to share anything or...
Yeah, well, I can see the logo. I can't remember the name of the site. Parent Square. We had a demonstration by Parent Square. They came out and met here at the elementary school with us. And the communication committee was all there, 13 or 14 of us in the room. They did about an hour-long presentation at Parent Square. I left feeling everybody there was pretty optimistic and impressed with the demonstration. It does a tremendous amount. It's really going to be up to staff and the staff to decide whether they want to go forward with this tonight. But I think we're all super impressed with it. It looks like a really, really good tool from top to bottom. It does. I was impressed. It does tremendous.
So our next meeting with the Communication Committee will be more focused on how we want to roll that out. Say that Parent Square. I think the plan really is to use the spring to advertise it, to train people up, to sell it. I think we even talked about Parent Square t-shirts. So just letting the community know that this is the direction we're headed, but making sure that our teachers trained up, and we even talked about bringing parents in for open house type training for the community to see it, use it, get their hands on it. It's a very useful tool.
Get some advocates out there in the community to help parents understand the usefulness of this tool, and not just us or not just the staff trying to.
And I think that one of the goals of using the entire spring to educate people on it is that people don't like change, or some people don't like change. And so just to make people feel comfortable moving forward, everyone is familiar with GroupMe or Remind. So to move them out of that zone and to use Parent Square is kind of our goal for the spring. So thank you guys for your time. Team Evade Training, I am working with Mr. Doug Williams, who's recently retired as a superintendent from Sunnyvale. That he's now working with Region 10. He's actually the gentleman that did our legislative update when we went over the bells. He presented that. I'm trying to get him in right after the new year. So right now the dates we're discussing are January 10th, 11th, 16th, and 17th. I believe those are Wednesdays and Thursdays. So as soon as I can nail that down with Mr. Williams, I'll get that information to you guys. It'd be great training for us to, again, just continue to gel as a team today. Thank you.
Moving on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of minutes from October 16th and October 20th, 2023, and bills for both GISD and GCSEC. Does anyone wish to pull any items from the consent agenda? Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda items as presented?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Board. Moving on to new business. Item 7A is a resolution. Let me make sure I turn to that page. It's page 77 in your binders. It is a resolution for us to revise local policy BBB local or legal, rather. What it has to do with is shifting our mode of board elections from at large to by place or position. It will still be place or position at large, actually, because we're not going to limit positions to any geographical location. One of the key items on the resolution is so that we can actually go and revise or edit the policy. So this is just step one in that. A couple items to talk about would be, as we section it out to the 7 places, whether the winning position will be by majority or plurality, and that would be in the policy as we get back to it. I think that's our last item. A couple of items like that though, but the main thing on the resolution is that we need to do this 60 days prior to any election. And our election this coming May is May 4th of 2024. So the 60th day from that is March 5th. So we're well in accordance with the requirement for this resolution. But I'm just going to open the floor. The reason I'm bringing this to you, I think it would truly clarify for our community what our board election looks like, and just provide clear measures. When you have one person challenging another instead of 9 people on the ballot at large like that. So essentially what would happen when someone comes in to register to run, they would have to choose which position they want. And again, it's in totality, it's still at large, so you can register to run for any position. So, example is if Ms. Hells and Mr. Martyr choose to run again in May, someone comes in to run, they would sign up, I want to run against Ms. Hells for position 1 or Mr. Martyr for position 2. And it doesn't limit how many people can sign up for those positions. You can still have 9 people sign up, 10 people sign up, but it's for a specific position. Any questions?
So it just designates a position.
Yeah, correct.
It doesn't, because I was confusing the concept of the at-large, but what is the purpose of changing it? So it really doesn't impact that.
It doesn't
It's
seem
just-
that large. It just defines who's running against
Who's running against who?
Right.
Which I think, there's certainly pros and cons to that. If you don't want people to run against someone, you want them to run for the school board trustee position. I think that's definitely important to consider the big
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I put an additional comparison data at each table. I apologize you didn't get this before tonight. I was still collecting data today. Just what I got from TASB, Texas Association of School Boards. The numbers they sent me, 460 at large. That's the number of districts. My place was 430. The 75 that you see single member districts, that 75, those are districts that have taken that place, and it is assigned by geographical location. So there's 75 districts that actually have that. And then there's 80 districts that actually have a combination of both. Some of those districts have done that just to support different minorities and majorities. Then you just see some individual districts. These just have to be superintendents that I knew I could call, I text, just ask them. So you see by place and several of the districts around us at large. And then ESC, the service center sent me the data they had about our specific region. Again, about 50-50. You see there's 30 by place or position, 32 at large, and 2 combination. And then I've been just sharing all the information I got as I started looking at this. Our TASB consultant, if you will, as she was sharing that information with me, it's actually the information you have at the top of that page. She did mention she's received several resolutions recently from districts in the Metroplex area that are changing from at large to at large by place. I never had an opportunity to ask her who those districts were or why they were doing it. Again, my goal is just to better define for our community when they go to the polls, vote this way, this is what it's going to look like.
So if I vote, can I vote against?
That's good.
You cannot,
Okay,
because when we go to edit the policy, we're actually defining the positions. Well, I
was gonna ask, could he say, I want to run for seat, but she's seat one and he's seat two, can he run for seat one?
No. Like I said, if we pass the resolution, and then we move on to the policy towards the end of the meeting, in that policy, we're defining those positions. So when we go to revise our policy, we're stating, so May of 24's position 1 and 2. So there's 1, that's 2. Then May of 25 would be 3 and 4. So actually that would be you and Gabe. And then 5, 6, and 7 would be Natalie, Gary, and Jim. Now, as far as 1 and 2 goes, or 3 and 4 goes, or 5, 6, and 7, honestly, we just did it alphabetically. So, but that's what it would look like.
Still playing the games, it's not bad. You think it'll deter people from voting if they feel like it's a conflict between one person running against another person, like is that an issue? Like, is it, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to run against this house, I don't want to run against this matter. You know, and would deter, like, yeah, I don't know.
It would. What I could see is it would force new candidates to come in and say, I think I can do a better job than that person. Right? Because essentially that's what you're doing when you're running, is you want to replace someone who's currently on the board. And so this would just require those people to say, I run against that person instead of this person.
And what's the difference between majority and
Majority, so you can't have a position where 3 or more people run for that one position. And by majority, that position could only be one if the person received more, 50% or more of the votes, majority. Plurality is you just have the highest number of votes. I just kind of fiscally minded right now. We currently have plurality.
Yes.
But I chose to stay with that because if we had a position that needed a runoff, then you're talking about $7,000 to $10,000 more dollars in the district for a runoff election. So to avoid that, and I've been in a district where a position had 3 people, and they were like 40%, 30, and 30 or something like that, and that person was 40%. But that's plurality.
So I guess you could still have a situation then, or, not sure, but, so let's just say like in May, Shelley and Scott are up. If we have 5 candidates that want to run, you could all 5 say, come on, President Shelley.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not limiting what anyone. Yeah, you can still have 5 run against Shelley and you against Scott, or vice
Or vice
versa.
versa, and then that would just be the comment that technically that seat would have go through
Yeah.
the election because there's no vote.
After Scott comes close, then Scott doesn't have to spend money on side.
Yeah.
You have to wrap my brain trying to figure out what's the benefit either way. I can't come up with anything. The only thing I can come up with is I know during the last election when we were running, I had neighbors who were just asking, so what does it mean? Can I put your sign and somebody else's sign? Like they didn't understand because they're used to, I think, actually voting for a position. So I think it really creates more clarity in that voters.
And that's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, I think it does. I don't see anything to it.
It doesn't limit anyone.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So we're making a decision or we're just discussing?
Well, we have to vote to pass the resolution. And the resolution is, yes, sir, unless you want to, it's not table, postpone. Because if you table something, you have to come back to it before the end of this meeting. But if you postpone it,
push to the next one.
I see it as kind of an interview, where you mentioned one person. You had that negativity already, so I don't understand anymore. Maybe I'm not seeing the benefits. I'm not feeling it slow.
Well, I agree, I heard you saying, I wrote that too, I just, it almost pits one person against the other, which I know, there's pros and cons probably to both. I personally, I would like to keep it at large, because I love it, it's simple, it's whoever gets the most votes, however many positions are open. I love the idea that it's not, because I think in our community, which we all know in our culture, I think we have an incredible district. I feel like people would be like, it's not seat one, I'm just using this example, Miss Hales against Miss Smith. And I think that's the mindset, and I think potentially could defer voting, because I don't want to vote against Miss Hales or Miss Smith, because I like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it does become this conflict of a person against a person versus a person going for a position. You're going to go for a position to be a part of a team versus I'm running against someone. I think it puts it to a person versus a trusted person.
Creates a little bit more division, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to really say much, because honestly, no matter how I argue one way or the other, you can take it either I'm trying to, square off against some person or not. But I will, if you can set that aside for a second, that I am if I decide. I don't have a preference either way. If people want to run for the board, then I can see them saying, look, I've got 2 chances. If it's just that large, I just got to be in the top 3. I do think it requires, if I was going to run again, knowing, not as an incumbent, but if I had to pick someone I'm going to run against, then I would need to think really long and hard about my qualifications to run. And do I have the qualifications or the ways, do I have a point of view that may be aligned or different, but I have to, it becomes a race. It becomes, I'm trying to show it becomes a little bit more of a competition. And that's not, it is what it is, but I think if I was in that position of trying to, of having to be someone that could run, I would have to really think long hard, do I have, because I have to beat that person. Now, I get the, well, then it becomes, do I vote for her or him or her? And I like both of them, or I don't like either one of them, and, but they're the only 2 people that ran. I think it's 6 of one, not another than another. But honestly, I don't care one way or the other. I do think it does provide a little bit more clarity in who's running against who versus we've got 2 spots open and anybody is up for it. I do think it requires a little bit more strategy and tact and run against record. But again, that's just, I'm good with it. So I'd be good either way if I wasn't. That helps. Yeah.
What that is, I can see is just clarity. That's it. It's just a little easier to vote, who I'm running for, versus or against, yeah. But does that clarity outweigh the potential division that I think might be adding to the already final win?
Just seems more of a negative approach.
But Yeah, I don't know if I can talk to him, but I wouldn't say that I don't know, just my experience over the last, I'm not advocating, but I'm just saying, you said more adversarial times. I have people say, hey, you want to put a sign on my yard, put a sign on my yard. If I don't think you're the right person, I'm not going to put your sign on my yard, right? And it doesn't matter if you're running against the board in general or against that one person. I may, actually think the only ones that's really going to become an issue too is the people who are looking at the line, who, when it comes to that, right? But the only ones that, we're talking about signs, and to me, it's people are going to put, what I've seen is people put signs in the yard for people who they feel are the best position for. If they know there's two positions open, they'll put those two signs in their yard. Even if they, okay, let's say you go by place, my place, and you got 4 people running against both places, and they like all 4 people, and they don't like the people that are sitting in the chair right now. They'll put all 4 of those. They'll pick and choose who they want that back, but they've got to pick, right? It can't just be, I can't come up with a great argument why there's a benefit, other than, we have these people running against this person and this record. And either that's, useful for people that are trying to make up their mind as to who to vote for, or it's not. And I don't know if it is or isn't, but, I know who I vote for. And I know that by attending these, I know that by getting to know the people. I don't get to know it by the one night meet the candidate. Like this last go round with 9 people that had very little time to really talk about and really get to know who they are and what they're about. I think you could, if you did have my place, you could change that up. You could have a meet candidate for one place, and you could break it up. Right? So you have a little bit more of a, I don't want to say debate because I don't really want to debate anybody, but I think it would be a little bit more focused.
They certainly made some changes to that this year, and I thought it was really good. I mean, it was a lot of people, but I think you had the opportunity after they were all getting like 2 minutes or something to say spiel. But what was nice is afterwards, each candidate got to go and sit at a table where people could get to know that candidate. And it created, it's tough to have that many people up there, but I think it definitely created an opportunity for the people that are diligent and interested in voting and making a difference to be able to see Harris and
But I tell you, as you can see from these numbers, it's basically 50-50. So I don't think there's a hard benefit one way or the other, based on these, right? Because at large it's 460 and by places 430, but that's not quite 50-50. But if you look at Region 10, it's roughly 50-50. So I think it's a toss-up on everything.
But that is not in the plan.
I hear you. Obviously, I can't bring that up. I already said I don't.
If you look at either scenario, it's still a competition, right? Whether it's 9 people going for 3 or you're going against the place.
Yep.
Because y'all the new guys, with the last election had it in place, y'all was board, I think there would have been 9 people running, you think it's been very, would you have posted a difference if you had to run against the place or at large? It's more of a question I might have than one of the others. What are your thoughts? How does that change you going inside
Our decision on that?
a little bit of those, would it affect your decision to run running in the place versus at large?
Yeah, or you could have a vigilante out there, which would
We probably would have run.
It would have definitely made me think twice before running, so maybe it wouldn't have scared me off or scared Natalie off. But I bet you there wasn't that time. I think it makes you think twice. When you're going, not running against Gabe or running against Sean.
The strongest point, just to make you think, I contribute as I bring maybe they haven't brought or, just a different perspective. Makes you
just don't want a vigilante out there that's like, I'm running because I don't like that person.
But that's the reality.
Unfortunately, that's the reality. That's bad. Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's the reality, whether it's at large or by place. People run because some people run because they feel they have something to give. All people run because they think they have something to give, but there are times when some people run because they want to run against that person. If you want to run against that person, then say you want to run against that person.
I will say that, when Lisa and I ran, there was a vacant spot, and then moved out of the district, so there was a vacant spot. I honestly think I would have had to, I don't think I'd run it. There were 3 people that went in. I think the other 2, Lisa and the other gentleman, I would have run the vacant spot. I don't think I'd have had enough money then.
I think that's great, because I thought about that as well. I completely agree with you. Because that, I want to be a part of the school board because I love the district and know that, but that was my intention. There was a vacant spot. That was my intention, running because I thought, a vacant spot. I wasn't necessarily against something. So, you're right.
It would be interesting, as I look at the list of the ones that did provide it. Some of them are like religious by place, values by place, small districts, and then you have larger districts by place. And I think, I don't know this for sure, but it'd be interesting to know if it's just a byproduct of it as a district grows. Does it make sense to create a by place to where, because you're going to have more interest in running because the community's growing. I know when I was asked, would you run, right? And if someone was moving off and was asked, run another road, people ran at the same time. But it wasn't, I think we're in a good spot as a community where people want to run. And again, I can't talk to the benefit one or the other. I think people don't run because we have that caring community and we have more people involved. So I don't think it's going to display one way or the other. To keep people running if we go one way or the other.
We do have a couple of options. We could entertain a motion to adopt the agenda, or adopt the resolution. We could also entertain a motion to postpone, and if you all want to do the research on your own, that is, again, we would discuss it outside of the meeting. But if anybody wanted to do any further research on their own, or wanted to find out some more about it, we can postpone it. Are there any motions anybody would like to make?
Well, I'll make a motion since it is, I think we've gone over that, over God's and I don't think we have consensus one way or the other. So I would, and it's new, so we have time. I would make a motion to postpone it to the next meeting.
Discussion regarding that postponement.
I think that is, as you said, it gives people time to do a little research, come back from the form when you want, when you feel that you're going to fit, you're going to fit, and then you can either, not act on it, or act on it, but that gives everybody time to kind of do it once. So, it's good. That's
Further discussion? All in favor of the resolution? Any opposed?
Item B, this comes from House Bill 3033, where we were required to designate our non-business days for the purpose of public information request or the Public Information Act of Texas. On page 79, you will see some highlighted dates. Those are the ones that we would publish as our non-business days. And so what that means is those will not count towards those 10 business days if someone were to make an open information request. This will be done in the future, will be done on this. So it's also just part of our calendar center. So. Yes, these will be posted on our website.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution to establish non-business days for the Public Information Act as presented?
Make a motion to, yes, I make a motion to, for resolution of non-business days.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Item C is us casting our votes for Grayson Central Appraisal District. Those votes going towards Charlie Williams. Your approval will give him.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution casting all 160 votes for Charlie Williams to serve on Grayson County Central Appraisal District? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item D is an RFP for grounds maintenance services. Mr. Bell is coming forward. I believe we have that on page. Yes, page 85.
We went out for a grounds RFP. It'd been a couple of years. We had about 5 contractors come out, walk, talk, 3 submitted bids. The low bid was our current contractor. He's doing a fantastic job, and it is the most fiscally advantageous for us. And so it would be our recommendation that we accept the contract for $70,200. It's in the brain. I don't have it in front of me. If you have questions about that, we can talk about it.
What's, for a year, or what's that?
It's for the year. It's 36 mowings, contracted, and then hedges, tree trimming. It's the entire grounds. I don't know. Our previous one, I don't know if y'all remember, but we didn't mow the softball field regularly. We didn't mow around the ag barns regularly. It would get high. We're bringing a brush hog. It's the entire grounds are now included, plus our 2 lots. This will get adjusted about this time next year because we're adding 18 acres to that mowing. So there'll be a little bit of an increase next year with these guys, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
We put bidding out to local companies or these recommended companies that,
These are anybody who could wanted to bid.
how does that?
It's public. It goes on an exchange. I say exchange, but there's a website that gets posted to. It gets run in the paper for a couple of weeks. It gets posted on the website. And so I had a company from Illinois, or based out of Illinois, who has local arms here, wanting to take over our mowing contract, and so they didn't end up submitting an offer, but they came and walked it. So.
The low bidder is personally.
It's who we're currently with.
So we
Yes, sir.
have a basis of understanding what they do and how well they do.
Yes, sir. I pick the phone up, they respond, they take care of our lawn jump pits, at the end of the winter, consider that weed everything, they take care of our flower beds.
How long have we had them?
Year and a half. So we switched halfway through that last year. Our previous contractor left, and he took over on that same rate. And then this last year we increased it. And Brittany, we need to go back out. Right.
So that's the Pace Construction. Is there a motion to approve the RFP received
from Pace Construction in the amount of $70,200. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, board. Moving on to item E is another RFP to custodial services.
So we had 4 interested, 3 walked the property, only 1 turned their proposal in on time. It was our current provider, Falk Services. There was a little sticker shock on the proposal, and so I have, well, I'm going to ask, we're not asking, I guess we'll do whatever. We are negotiating right now the details of the contract. I'm trying to figure out where we can prove here and there. The biggest thing on the table is this hasn't been renegotiated in 5+ years. So our custodial salaries are very low. And so what's happening is right now we have about 4 custodians that are currently being shopped by surrounding schools that are paying $2 to $3 more per hour. And so we're going to see we currently budget $320,000 a year. September 1st next year, the bill for the year will be about $500,000. And the bulk of that is going to be salaries related to custodial salaries, and then about $40,000 of that's going to be equipment for our district. They purchase it and move through it. That's what we're looking at right now. So we met today. I haven't even had a chance to sit down Mr. Mardell and Ms. Floyd and kind of go through, and then we'll come next month, if it's okay, and bring the final proposal contract to you for approval.
And you said we've had them 5+ years.
Yes, my memory of it is we fired the previous group because they were not doing a very good job, and they worked with us from a budget standpoint. We were only cleaning rooms once a week, trash every day. Mr. Mardell got here, and I think we vacuumed rooms for about 3 semesters, or not 3 semesters, about 3-6 weeks until we could get them cleaning the elementary rooms every day. So elementary gets cleaned every day, middle school, high school gets cleaned twice a week. Classrooms, and then trash is every day, common areas every day, and then they cover all of our events. So it's about 10.5 to 11.5 FTEs, depending on who's applied that month, who's left. There's a little bit of turnover. So.
Overall, we can say consistent staff.
Yes, ma'am. And that's really, we're honest right now, and that's what I talked with them today, with Dawson today, and realistically, it's securing staff so we don't have to endure a shortage. We've been very fortunate. We've got our core custodians who've been here for several years, and they do a good job. Our working manager has been phenomenal. She was here at 4:15 this morning making rounds because she had one out, and she wanted to make sure that stuff was ready before they got here. And so. We're going to go through the budget, and if it doesn't work, then we can consider going back out for another RFP and see if we can get another bid on time. If that's where Mr. Martin and Ms. Floyd want to go, it's got to work for us. It's got to work for them.
It's part of the, sorry if you mentioned this, and I didn't catch it. It's part of the increase in new facility.
No, sir. There'll be an adjustment. So we're going to add about 40,000 square feet when we move over there, and that's really probably 2 FTEs. It'll be 1.5 because we're in that half. We don't need another. I think it's 10.5. We don't need another full FTE right now to do with our cleaning schedule. But when we add that 40,000 square feet, they'll add a full FTE to the elementary school.
So really the bid you got compared to the 500 to 300 is apples to apples.
It's a significant increase, but we're giving custodians a raise.
Yeah, not just saying the scope of work. I get it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we're not changing what we're currently doing, and that's Ms. Marnell, we've talked about going in house and doing those tabulations and looking at what that overall cost would be. Right. And so it's because it's a line item. I mean, every year, but he's going to have to have heart palpitations and set up a line item for, you know, $500,000, and then year 2 it's going to go to 515, just to kind of keep pace. And if the board wants, that they're willing to come in and kind of present for you guys, if you wanted to know anything that you know, from them and hear from them, kind of where they are, what they do, how they do stuff. If that's something that you guys are interested in, they're willing to do that as well.
That's fine. We need clean facilities and teachers that feel like their spaces are being taken care of. It's important. And they do important work. It needs to be, market, and be able to keep good people.
The last time we discussed bringing it in-house, that was significantly more expensive, right?
We're getting to a point to where it's not going to be significantly more expensive. And then I was kind of sharing this morning. The tough part is you can look at your space. You know, there's guides. Tazewell has guides. There's a cleaning guide and breaks apart spaces, right? And certain spaces have more intensive cleaning requirements than others. Certain floors have more. So we can sit down and calculate as a district, hey, we would need 12 FTEs for this, to do this. We have other additional benefits cost, 15% on top of that stuff for the additional district benefits they're going to have if they're a district employee. We have equipment maintenance, and there's another. It's in exact science. We can get close. Other districts have done it. And again, that's something that when we sit down and have this conversation, that Ms. Mardell may ask, I want to go find out what this would cost to go in-house. It scares me personally, but you know, we don't make decisions based on what we feel, based on what's best for the district and our kids. And so it's on the agenda for Monday's meeting, and we'll sit down and start kind of hashing out and going from there.
Well, I do think that there should be because you're right, when we looked at this before, it was like, yeah, we had a good deal compared to having to bring it in-house. I get it that difference is changing now, the dynamic is changing, and that's fine. Because there's some additional overhead, additional headaches, and other things that come with bringing it in-house, but at some point, I mean, every time we look at this, especially if we're talking about such a significant increase this time, we should do that analysis again, just say, yeah, we can probably, you know, it's not necessarily materially different or whatever, but it's less of an administrative burden or whatever. But I think you should do that as part of the conversation. That's just my questions.
So moving on to item F, which is a possible revision to local board policy B local. That's just pertaining to board meetings and agenda or items being placed on the agenda. This came from conversations several months ago. So for what I thought was recommendation, moving to editing our policy so for an item to be placed on the agenda, it required the request of at least 2 board members instead of a single member.
So we said a single board member would be able to request an agenda item. 2 board members need to get together and request a single item to be placed on an agenda in the future.
No, I think it would just, like the single member would come to the board president, like in our board operating procedures, and the 2 members would be the single member and the board president. That would make 2.
Oh, so it doesn't change anything.
But I don't think it changes that. I think it just kind of codifies it. I mean, the way it actually works, I mean, the board president is not going to set the agenda.
Yes.
And so I would, when I sat in the chair, I wanted to, okay, I get it. And I've also heard that from other members, other board members, that this is something they want to talk about, so let's get it on the board, okay? I haven't heard that, let me see, and then let's talk about it again, and then, it's just a way, this, I think, qualifies, if two members, which more preference than the second member, that it doesn't really change anything for us.
That's just clarification.
I think it's just clarified.
And the president doesn't have to, so.
No, but two more members to say, hey, we're in on this, we want this on there. That's coming.
Motion then to approve the revision to board policy PE local board meetings as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item G was related to the revision or the resolution that we postponed. So we'll move to item H. This is, so last spring, we had a electrical box in the softball field burn up. It's kind of related to the fact that we had to rewire all our lights because they were not deep enough in the ground, ready to build. So to come out and fix all that correctly, you can see there in your board book, it is $15,000. Mr. Bell, anything I'm leaving out here? So since it ties into the work we did at the softball field, which is part of the bond, we're going to make sure we have for approval to cover this bill from the bond.
Yeah, it's, their Encore's can come out and shut down. They're going to move the pole and the meter, new fuse, new disconnects, everything kind of back up to code where it's the way it should be, not the way that it is. So it's not a small switch. It's a probably 3 or 4 day spring break. Maybe not. I mean, depends on Encore, I guess. So 15.
When that doesn't go out for bid, that's not the concern. Right, making this is the.
I mean, it's a repair. I mean, it's or it's. I mean, it's bark. It's. I mean, it's. The. I don't know that they thought. I don't know that we knew it was going to arc last spring, but it was one of those things as they're doing and running those things and making all the connects. They're like, hey, this is not the way this should be. And then last spring, in fact, I think it was Mr. Martindale. Like we were at the field last night, and this lid blew off and it's fried. And so,
Well, we didn't need the lights out.
Oh, okay. So we put a patch on it, and so this will finish this and we'll move the meter, get it
Funded out.
done properly.
Will it be able to be completed before the softball?
It'll be done next week if the board approves it.
Okay. With that, is there a motion to approve paying $15,173.75 out of bond money for the softball field electrical repairs? Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There is no further business. Then we stand adjourned at 8:09.
Yeah.